So let's go into the next match lineup here. We have Druid versus Warlock. Now, if this is Ramp Druid, which I have a strong feeling it is, if it's Ramp Druid, then if Santa is not playing around mind control tech, it's gonna be pretty. It could be pretty swingy, but I still feel like Warlock has a really good chance against Druid. It's like one of the very few decks that give Druid a problematic time, even despite all of his swingy stuff. Like Druid still had trouble with Handlock, even though it had Big Game Hunter against Giants and Silence on the Twilight Drakes, because then there's still too many threats.
Yeah, both variations of Warlock as well. I'm pretty strong.
I mean, I could be wrong in a sense because I haven't really played too much of the Zoo on ladder against Druid, but it feels like when I play Druid, I still struggle sometimes against what Warlock can do. But Wild Growth is really powerful. It's a great way to start.
Seems like it is heavy ramp. Heavy ramp versus.
Yeah, Ramp Druid is like the new powerful deck. It's in vogue.
I think it struggles a bit versus Handlock.
Yeah, it's definitely better than mid-range Druid in my opinion because you've got a lot of minions that can go toe-to-toe. And if you do run one copy of the combo, you still threaten to kill. Regular mid-range Druid against Handlock is like, if I have the answers, I win. If I don't, I lose.
Yeah.
It's too swingy.
Heavy ramp gives you a little bit more room.
Right. Oh, Nourish!
Wow. Heavy ramp.
Yeah, it's that's crazy to Nourish. I haven't seen that in a long time.
It's very slow.
He's got Nourish into, well, he's got Wild Growth into Coin Nourish. Does he want to Nourish more mana though? Maybe he has an opportunity to use that for card draw.
Yeah.
It depends. I guess against Handlock you want to ramp really quickly because you need to hit your threats too.
Kel'Thuzad is a pretty good threat to hit.
Right. But you could also you could coin out the
Druid of the
Claw and ramp, because if you coin into a Nourish right now, you're gonna have 7 mana. 7's a little awkward. So I think coining out the Druid of the Claw is also appropriate here.
It doesn't really match into anything though.
Well, the nice thing is that if you coin Druid of the Claw, you can Nourish for 2 mana. Next turn, you'll also have 2 extra mana because it says gain 2 mana crystals, so you can use them immediately. So you can Wrath as well. All right, it's just, I guess it's the same difference. Yeah. Oh, draw 3 cards. All right, I like it. He's got Innervate as well.
Kel'Thuzad is a big swing card in a lot of situations.
Sure.
If you're able to build a board, sometimes you can make a turn that just completely wins you the game.
I just want Gooby to draw Mountain Giant right now. Gooby draws the Mountain Giant.
Yeah.
He's playing Handlock against Handlock. It'd be sick. Alright. Innervate Ancient Allure for more cards.
Okay.
So it's a ramp deck versus a ramp deck in terms of cards.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it seems like one deck doesn't have a lot of threats in hand. It's got a lot of answers. If you look at Sansa's hand, he's got pretty much only cards to react to people and not really do anything. He's got Dark Bombs, he's got Taunts.
Like Dark Bomb, Hellfire, not going to really do much good when you're trying to deal with.
I mean, I almost certainly feel like he's going to drop Sludge Belcher, just because it's mana efficient. But it's one of those things where he doesn't have Mountain Giant, right? He doesn't have another Twilight Drake, or even a Defender of Argus to punish this Ancient of Lore and grab the board.
The threats that he does have overall have the potential to be more valuable than the threats that Gooby has.
Yeah. What's so scary too is your opponent's coming up on 6 mana, so he might silence your Drake and then Wrath it for 1. So you sort of want to cash in on value, but at the same time, there's no way for you to guarantee that without making it awkward mana-wise. So I think this is the best play.
Well, no keeper in hand, so that's not a possibility.
Do you think he drops Sylvanas here?
Yeah, I think so.
What's the reasoning behind it?
Just fits the curve better, and it can challenge what's likely to be a rather large creature played next turn. Like if a Mountain Giant's played next turn. I mean, if you play a Druid of the Claw is a possibility as well, but it just seems like fitting the mana would be better in this situation. Because the 5-drops are pretty good for later on in the game.
I think what I like about just playing a taunt in general is to drive the heat away from the Ancient of Lore. So that way the Drake can't get easy value again. So the Druid of the Claw is specifically so that just what's on board, if it attacks into the Druid of the Claw, it won't kill it. He has to have something else. He has to have the Mortal Coil, or he has to have the Dark Bomb. And even then it uses up a little bit more of his mana. So I think this is an okay play for sure, and it's a one that makes his opponent uncomfortable as opposed to play within his own mana curve. Tap into Loatheb doesn't really do much, so it looks like he's back to the original plan of just killing off what's here. Does he use both Dark Bombs or does he use Hellfire? Either way, he's taking some significant damage on his Drake.
Yeah. If he Hellfires, he would just leave it at, what, 2 health?
Yep. Then he's going to have to Dark Bomb, double Dark Bomb. Ugh, it's ugly.
But he preserves his Drake, and also he preserves his Slime as well, so.
He does, but that Ancient of Lore already grabs so much value. And now he doesn't have to worry about the additional damage. Like, this Ancient of War will absolutely wreck ship. Did they fix that thing where most Druids have their taunt option to the right, like Druid of the Claw? And then Ancient of War has its taunt option on the left?
A lot of people complain about that, but I don't remember if that was ever like noted in changes. It's at muscle memory a lot of times.
Right.
For people that play a lot of Druid. So I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think, like, it's hard for me to think without seeing in front of me where the taunt is on both of them.
Siphon Soul, this is probably one of the biggest targets you ever Siphon Soul, but personally I think you could always not worry too much about other big threats. Like Hailthazad, unless you get so far behind on board that you have to use Siphon Soul on it. Because usually a Giant can kill it off anyways, or a Shadow Flame.
Yeah.
Against Druid, like, Giant removal is so strong as an option in the future, so. You just want to preserve your Drake as best as you can.
Well, this is a little bit of a tough turn, because you can't really Ancient of Lore, because you'd overdraw.
Yeah, looks like he's in a Black Knight, maybe.
Kel'Thuzad on an empty
Or
board is not that
Sludge
great.
Belcher. Doesn't make sense to Black Knight against a Handlock. My apologies.
I mean, he does have BGH Black Knight, so he's got a lot of options for later on. Kel'Thuzad as well can make for some big turns.
You're right, it's a really big draw. So back over to Santa. He delayed playing Dr. Boom in favor of removal. This might be the opportunity to play it again.
Yeah.
He doesn't get to tap, though, which sucks. Because as a Handlock player, you're always looking to tap as much as you can to draw cards, get deeper into your deck.
He might actually want to tap and play like Sludge Belcher.
You think so?
Just so he can tap next turn and still play Dr. Boom.
Fair enough.
His hand isn't that great right now.
Yeah, his hand's okay. If it was lower health, he'd actually be able to start weaving in things, but I think Dr. Boom here is pretty strong.
Okay.
You do bring up a good point where what if he wants to tap again next turn, he's floating 2 mana.
Yeah.
But I generally think it's okay because Dr. Boom usually makes up for it tempo-wise with its 1/1s.
And it's not like he's not. He's missing a card this turn, but it's not like it's going to make any of his plays.
Right. Now, unfortunately, there's like the perfect answer from Druid. It's you suicide the Slime into the Drake, You hero power the 1/1, you wrath for 1,
one,
and then you big game
BGH.
under. And it's like you're ahead on board, you didn't lose card, parity whatsoever.
This is nearly the exact situation that you were talking
It
about
happens
earlier.
actually quite often. Because if Dr. Boom comes down, you've drawn enough cards.
Yeah, BGH is usually...
Oh. He wants to BGH beforehand. Okay.
Eh,
So then, if he big games Hunters before he drops Dr. Boom, or before he kills the bots, it's because he wants to drop another minion.
well, if he's thinking of sequencing
Hmm.
that first, I just don't know what he would drop in that situation. Well, I guess...
Vengeance, you're the master.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, 4 damage. Good thing that bot was the 4 damage one, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would have attacked and maybe killed the Senjin.
Yep.
Jiraxis is actually a really strong card against Ramp. Usually against Druid, you're scared about dying to the combo at all times. But it's a card that might change things, considering that Ramp Druid oftentimes have stopped running the Force of Nature Savage War combination. And all of a sudden, like, Jiraxis not only stays alive, but he summons really strong, powerful 6/6 minions.
It's not a card that a lot of times you have the luxury of being able to play in this matchup, or in the past because of fast druids.
Mhm.
You have to have an empty board later on in the game to be able to play Jiraxis safely.
Alright, well, what can you do here if you're Santo?
Sledge Belcher or tap.
Right, you can
Slap
Hellfire
does
as well.
That's true, yeah.
It does depend on where this bot goes. This boom bot goes. Oh! Actually, now you can definitely Hellfire. Because if the worst case scenario, you can always Mortal Coil. You should attack first, though.
Yeah. Without the Mortal Coil, I think Hellfiring first would have been better.
Okay. Well, now that that happened, you can just drop Sludge Belcher for sure.
Huh.
Alright.
I think I like Sledge Belcher better in that situation.
Oh, man. Can you pass up a Black Knight on this?
Nope.
It's a 5 damage Battle Cry.
Especially on a Loatheb. Because normally you'd have to
Sure.
just play a minion to answer it the following turn. But it's not very often where you get to deal with a Loatheb immediately from your hand.
Yikes. Okay, well, now Santa is back in a similar spot. Too high health to drop his Moltons. And Jiraxis is not highly effective at all.
And he's got Kel'Thuzad in his hand, so next turn he could even sacrifice his Black Knight in his Ascension Shield
Right,
Master.
you could trade it in, collect Kael'Thuzad value. Well, I think you're tapping. Oh wait, I guess you get Hellfire. That seems a lot weaker.
I think either way you're tapping. Well, I guess you'd play
Right.
Sledge Belcher in the situation. I mean, you could Hellfire.
Hellfire's actually okay. If you Hellfire, then you play Sludge Belcher. It challenges the
Yeah.
not the Dark Knight, the Black Knight.
The Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight. Did I tell you I started playing a Batman game?
Which Batman game? The Lego Batman?
Arkham's Origins.
Oh. I heard that's pretty good.
It's really good. I play on the iPad though because you know I'm a Hearthstone player. I don't have mechanics. I can't play that stuff on a controller or a PC. Okay, Starfall is interesting
That's
considering.
very interesting.
So this is like classic ramp where you just have anti-aggro
Yeah.
early on and you ramp really heavily. It's very reminiscent of Gara's ramp
Mm-hmm.
back from DreamHack Bucharest. Alright, so let's find a way to dissect the board and play the strongest play possible. And I'm thinking it's Wrath for 1, kill off the Sludge Belcher, and then Ancient of Lore again.
Yeah. Nervy. I don't think that changes anything.
Or maybe, no, actually never mind, it's just Kael'Thuzad, isn't it? It has to be KT. It's like you summon a 4/5.
Yeah, that's true. I think you
He wants to bait out more removals.
Yeah. I think you want to look for more
Sure.
value out of KT as well.
I mean, it's It's like just solely like a math thing, right? It's like, well, eventually he's gonna run out of removals like Siphon Souls or silences, and then he can't answer KT. Then Kael'Thuzad becomes a checkmate as opposed to a power play.
Yeah. Kael'Thuzad can be a little awkward to remove as well. He doesn't get killed by BGH.
Right.
You have to have just straight up hard removal. And 8 health is still a lot.
I wonder how many late game threats is in this deck. Like, is Ragnaros in here? Is Dr. Boom in here? It could be very much the case that Gooby has avoided putting any targets that can get hit by a big game hunter in this deck.
It's possible. Now, I think KT sort of fits the same spot as either Dr. Boom or Rag. I'm not sure if it's both. But players aren't really afraid to put Dr. Boom in their deck, even if it's their only BGH target. Just because you still usually get, well, I don't know. You can still get something out of Dr. Boom. And you're forcing them to have the BGH, or else you just get so much out of it.
Yeah, it's true.
Almost every deck runs BGH now. Almost solely because of Dr. Boom.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest reasons why Fel Reaver actually wasn't even more popular than I think it is, because the rise of Dr. Boom has inadvertently killed off other minions with 7 or more stats.
It's a shame. Such a Dr. Shame.
That's my line. Well, I guess you can cycle for the wild growth and see if you can draw. This matchup is playing out pretty slowly, but it's like understandable. You know, you don't want to make any mistakes here.
It's crazy. The Druid's probably about even on card count as the handlock.
Right. I have to say, Xanafios has been getting unlucky because he hasn't hit any of his other threats. He's been getting all of his reactive mid-range stuff.
Yeah. We haven't seen a Mountain Giant yet. We haven't seen the second Drake yet.
Second swipe, it's okay. Allows him to push for some damage in here. How much damage does he push in, though? Maybe just down to 18 with one of the minions. Oh, okay, he attacks with the Druid the Claw.
Starfall used to be able to hit face.
It used to. Those were the good days.
Yeah, if you go back to BlizzCon 2013, Spell Power Druid was the rage. Maybe a little bit after that. Early stages of competitive Hearthstone.
It was Savagery Druid.
Yeah.
Savagery used to be stupid.
Yeah. Because it used to deal...
It was Blade Flurry.
It was Blade Flurry,
with armor.
And Dalaran Mage was included in most Druid decks because it was a 2/4 instead of a 1/4. Those were the days, man.
Alright, well... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. So you can still tap. You can tap, double Molten, play the Sun Fury, and still have 2 mana remaining. Or you can just simply drop the Giants if you're afraid of your health count. If your opponent had combo, he can't push through it.
I think Santa's probably pretty happy about finally being able to play big threats.
There you go.
Oh.
That's another pretty reasonable threat. So. Drop Mountain Giant, Molten Giant, and Taunt up.
Seems pretty good to me. This next turn could be really valuable here for Gooby. I'm sure there'll be ways for him to make use of Kael'Thuzad, but it might be a little awkward. Well played.
Guess he's just trying to get him to do something. I mean, it is a pretty slow game. Both these guys have been roping. Alright, double Molten has come out.
Zombie Chow not the best draw in this situation.
Nope. Let's see. Can you efficiently remove both of these minions? You can. They're lethal. Silence. No. There isn't.
And swipe and Starfall, is that? Swipe the left Giant, Druid the Claw in.
Maybe it's like something as simple as popping out Sylvanas saying screw it.
Well, Druid the Claw and Sludge Vulture are really hard to get through, regardless.
Yeah.
So that might be the case.
Yeah, it's like let Sylvanas worry about it in a way.
All clear in one is still good. Ooh.
Hmm. So the owl doesn't really do much unless he wants to Shadow Flame his own giant here.
Uh huh. Which you're losing a lot of health value from that, because it would still be at what, 4 health, or so, yeah, 4 health after it hits into the Sludge Belcher.
Okay, so wait, hold on. Does he have how much damage does he have? 10. Okay, no,
Not quite.
not enough. It's like one of those things that you should always like go back and say, wait, what? Do I have enough damage?
Yeah, yeah. And something, if you get caught up in like maximizing value of your board, sometimes you can not even factor in, oh, I can just silence the Sludge Belcher and push through. But yeah, he is a bit off. Not far, but a bit.
Alright, well, Ironbeak Owl, his Silence on the Sylvanas is more than called for here. Pretty soon, this is going to soften up the board where Starfall is going to collect like amazing value. He didn't even kill off the 1-2.
Yeah. Took a little
Moving
bit
a little
long,
too
sir.
slow, Santa. I always knew it. When I was young, it was like this weird thing where like I asked my parents why, why didn't I get presents or something, and be like, 'cause Santa was late this year.
And you just
I don't know why you were laughing as if you knew what I was going on, or were you there in my childhood? I just didn't know.
no, because I knew that whatever it was,
It had to be related to something like childhood related.
I think just picturing you in situations as a child is humorous to me.
I was
regardless of
actually
what it is.
a really fat baby, like a fat kid.
Really, were you?
I was.
That makes it all the.
There's pictures on my face.
so much
We're
better.
Facebook friends, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, you can go back and browse some of them. I have
Okay.
some baby pictures where I'm really chubby. I'll show you during the break.
What did you expect from Santa Claus when you were younger?
More candy.
Various meat products.
Candy! I want more candy! Oh, I don't know. I wanted facial hair when I was young. That's what I wanted.
That's what you wanted Santa Claus to
Santa,
bring you?
give me facial hair.
Well, I don't think this Santa can give you much of anything, besides maybe some good Hearthstone games.
Alright, well, how are you going to deal with this? If you drop the Drake, I thought he was going to Shadow Flame his Giant here. But I guess he doesn't want to part ways with one of his minions. I guess he has to give up both of these and crash into it. Pretty unfortunate circumstance here, but seems like he did solve a pretty good puzzle here to drop the minions. But in the end, just look how weak his hand has gotten. And Drew's going to reload in just a second.
Getting rid of the Kel'Thuzad, especially behind a little bit of a wall, can be sort of a breath of fresh air. Even as well, I guess that was still a pretty clean way to remove it.
It was. I mean, he also kept his Giant, which is really good. So in hindsight, this is actually a very strong play.
Yeah.
The thing is, he used up a lot of his cards to get that, and his hand quality post-Jiraxis is very, very slim pickings. Oh, here we
Wow.
go. Ragnaros off the top. That is a draw.
I mean, a couple rag shots to face, and
I don't know if you're worried about dying to combo, though, right?
I think you always have to be. I mean, you see that it's heavy rare. Actually, I don't know, because Nourish, you see Nourish, and you might say, well, maybe he doesn't run it. But he's still, there's a lot of cards that he hasn't seen, like he hasn't seen Starfall or the Mind Control Tech. But I guess Mind Control Tech's pretty standard now in Druid, at least recently.
Well, I think Ragnaros is the play here, just solely based off elimination. Jiraxis again, very weak. It just basically equips a turn, like a weapon for a turn, and doesn't really do much. I think think Ragnaros needs to hit this 5-5 as well. Hitting the 2-3 would honestly be okay too, because you regen some health. Alright.
That's not too bad.
Oh
my wow.
Gosh.
Oh.
I didn't even realize that Gooby might be decked out soon.
I mean, the power of the cards in his hand are
right. So he
really
can load up a
strong.
lot of targets, so Ragnaros could reduce the chances of hitting it.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Ancient of War is also okay, because it's another big minion that Ragnaros would hit. The only thing is that it's weak to silence and is also weak to another Siphon Soul.
Yeah. And you can't play anything else.
Right.
So it increases the likelihood that it...
Would you play Mind Control Tech? Or do you think you want to wait for your opponent to perhaps overextend onto the board? Especially if he has Jiraxis, Infernos.
Yeah, but you're almost out of cards. I think you just play it.
Fair enough.
You're not going to
don't
have a
have the
chance
time.
where he's going to be able to build up 4 creatures.
Yeah, I think the 3 attack is more valuable than the effect. Oh man, that's a good draw.
Wow.
It's a good draw indeed. So you can silence the minion, and then there's 5 health remains. Let's see. You can
So many possibilities.
well, you can at least taunt up. Like the good news is that you can get past this Ancient of War. Is there a play where you can silence your own rag? You can silence your own rag. You can silence it and then Shadow Flame it. Guess you can do the same way either way.
Yeah. Either way, you'd be left with a...
You
owl.
want to keep your you want to keep your rag alive as long as possible though, just because he can't deal with it. So there's no point in like killing it off.
Yeah.
Oh, he has an Ancient Watcher, so we can Defender Vargas 2 of these targets around it. Oh man,
Wow. This is a really strong play.
I think Santa has locked this game up, unless
Well, he's got 2 Keeper the Groves. But I'm not sure how valuable those are going to be unless he can push through, which I don't think he'd be able to. With only 13 damage on the board.
yeah, it's too bad he used Mind Control Tech already.
And if this hits a creature...
Oh,
Whoa!
hold on.
Oh!
Second Mind Control Tech. There we
That's big.
go. Oh, the worst one.
Yikes.
Alright.
I mean, I guess it's still something.
Starfall, yeah. He's still got time. How much time, though, is the question.
Well, he's already at fatigue. He's got to work for the rest of the game with what he has. Which could be a problem.
I can't believe it. If he took any other minion, he'd be in so much of a better spot.
Especially Rag.
Yeah, but if he took any of the taunts, it's like 1 less taunt to get through, so
Yeah.
that way he can push through for damage. Ridiculous. Rag's gonna survive for 3 turns.
But he's putting him on a clock here. 11 health.
Yeah.
Not really a safe turn to use Jiraxis. Mountain Giant's dead
Oh,
draw
man,
since
I
he
think he
already
has
has
a
one in his
Shadow
hand.
Flame. You have to tap, then you tap too, right? You tap. His only option to survive is a Shadow Flame, but you first tap to see if you pick up anything else better. I highly doubt it, though. Almost nothing will be better than Shadow Flame here.
Yeah.
Here. Okay. Yeah, Mountain Giant, Jiraxis all do the same exact thing, which is die.
What are you worried about for tapping? You have to know that it is.
You're
wrong.
gonna go down to 9 health. He already used his Druids of the Claw. He's already used swipes. Yeah, there's no way that you can die.
Yeah. If you had combo, you'd be dead anyway, regardless of what. Well, actually, no, you wouldn't. If you played no, because you wouldn't be able to Shadow Flame either. Yeah. I think tap is. Got to tap here.
Maybe he's low on cards too. I mean, he could be on his final 2 or 3 cards, and he doesn't want to draw.
It's very possible. Because he's got to find the turn to be able to use Draxus.
Yeah.
Alright, well, that's it. passes it.
Yeah, and I guess he doesn't want to draw. So then Scenarios comes in here, challenge. Because then you can use the double keeper to kill.
Yep.
And that'll be the final straw. I think Gooby might be concerned about the Siphon Soul, but you have to make a game-winning push here. Can't be too careful on this. Is this Siphon Soul number 2?
Nope.
No.
That's it.
Oh,
No.
he might.
Nope. That's it.
No. What if he Jiraxis and
Oh.
kills? He heals up a little bit, actually. You Jiraxis and kill off a tree ant. You'll actually be alive, right?
12, 7.
Nope. Well, yeah, I think so, actually. He'll be at 5, 7, plus the 2 from the Keep with the Grove, 8 damage, and then 1 from the Hero Power. So he's dead no matter what.
Yeah.
Unless he taps and Siphon Souls the Scenarios.
His last card would have to be Siphon Soul. It's actually likely that he just cut the second Siphon Soul.
Yep. I think the Siphon Soul here is oh. Well, he's going to play as if he doesn't have an opportunity to win without this. So he's going to drop his Mountain Giant, but that's going to do it. Gooby's going to take game number 2 in what is becoming a marathon of a series. It's Paladin versus Paladin, Druid versus Warlock,
I must safeguard.
and Gooby is going to BM himself. I like it.
Gooby never misses an opportunity for BM.
BM. Well, he did. He didn't Hero Power.
That's true. He never wholly misses an opportunity.
Right. He engages.
He
at some
yeah.
level. Okay, so that's 2 games out of the way. We have Mage versus Mage coming up, which I'm the most worried about because if the admins are getting disconnected once per game now, I wonder what's going to happen. Fatigue versus Fatigue coming